What is up, Insaners, and welcome to another video where we'll be doing a review of the Double Game Week 19. We look at our Game Week team and discuss how every team and player performed over the week, along with team selection for the next Game Week 20. We'll also be talking about captain picks, especially after the KDB injury and Mohamed Salah blanking in the last 5 games. It's gonna be an exciting watch, so do watch the video till the end. If you like today's video, do give it a thumbs up. It would really help us in getting different kinds of content every week. Do subscribe to our channel Insanely Football if you would like to get weekly updates. We have a playlist dedicated to the Fantasy Premier League where we talk about our team and transfer suggestions. We cover in-depth player analysis every week along with discussing captaincy picks. It's generally a lot of fun and you should definitely join us. Now coming to our Game Week 19 score, we got 113 points with a decent green arrow. Our rank also improved from 250,000 to around 180k. We're definitely moving in the right direction, and the next target is to at least reach 100k in terms of our rank in the next few weeks. Now coming to our Game Week 19 team, Emi Martinez did a decent job giving us 9 points over 2 game weeks. It felt like Martinez was unlucky in the game against Man City, not getting the clean sheet, especially with so much debate around the first goal that Bernardo Silva scored. He still managed to get 3 points from that game as he managed 7 saves in an attempt to achieve a clean sheet. His second game against Newcastle was a lot easier. He only made 1 save, but more importantly, he got the clean sheet points and overall, he did a decent job. With Villa facing Burnley, Southampton and Brighton in the next 5 games, there's definite potential for points there, and Martinez is surely a set and forget option for these games. John Stones was the pick of our defenders, getting that legendary 21-point haul in the game against Crystal Palace, scoring 2 goals and getting maximum bonus points. He was also able to secure a clean sheet against Villa and scored a massive 27 points across both games. This haul made him the highest scoring player of the Double Game Week, something that all FPL managers who owned him are going to remember for some time. James Justin from Leicester City had the next highest points with 14 for the week. He secured 2 clean sheets against Southampton and Chelsea and looked good in both games. The Portuguese fullback Ricardo Pereira made his first Premier League appearance in 10 months, playing the final quarter of an hour in a 2-0 win against Chelsea. It'll be interesting to see how Justin and Pereira fit in the system after Brendan Rodgers made suggestions that he could use Pereira as a winger. Interesting times for the Leicester City players. Soufal also returned in double digits, getting a clean sheet against Burnley and an assist against West Brom. His 12 points got him in the top 5 scoring defenders of the Double Game Week. He created 3 chances and his expected assists were 0.57 for the week, only behind Robertson, Shaw and Willy Bolly from Wolves. Stuart Dallas though was a bit disappointing, only scoring a couple of points for our team. Leeds had a game to forget against Brighton and struggled to find and create any clear-cut chances. Their expected goals were ranked at 18th place, only ahead of Newcastle and Crystal Palace. Surely a week to forget for the Leeds defender. Our midfield was also a bit disappointing, only getting 32 points in spite of having the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Mohamed Salah and Kevin De Bruyne in our team, who all had double game weeks. Starting with the captain for the week, Kevin De Bruyne. He only scored 8 points in total, getting an assist against Crystal Palace, where he played only for 70 minutes. The match against Villa was even worse as he was taken off in the 58th minute because of a hamstring injury. He looks to be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks and surely needs replacing for the coming game weeks. In total, he gave us 16 points, so not the ideal week for a KDB owner, especially with the armband on him. Bruno Fernandes also had a quiet double game week, providing only 1 assist against Fulham. The other game was against Liverpool, which was a 0-0 draw. Bruno's numbers though were much better than KDB's. He had 8 goal attempts and created 3 chances, including 2 big chances. Other midfielders included Mo Salah from Liverpool, who had probably their worst weeks in the Premier League for a long time. They drew against Man United at home and lost to Burnley 1-0, courtesy of a Barnes penalty. This meant a 5th straight blank for Salah, and things are not looking great for him from an FPL point of view. Thomas Souček was another disappointing midfielder who did absolutely nothing in the 2 games against Burnley and West Brom. He was playing well forward without Antonio, and with the striker coming back, Souček played a lot deeper than before, reducing his overall goal threat, which was a worrying sign for all Souček owners. In attack, we started with 2 strikers in Harry Kane and Patrick Bamford, both of them having a single game this week. Harry Kane was the pick of the 2, scoring 9 points in total, scoring a goal against Sheffield United and getting maximum bonus points after the Spurs defense conceded a goal and gave away the clean sheet. In terms of his numbers for this week, he had 6 goal attempts and created 4 chances. Overall, he looked more likely to create rather than score himself, but still 9 points is a decent return for a single game week. Patrick Bamford was super ineffective against Brighton with no goal attempts and didn't look anywhere close to scoring a goal. Now in terms of our chips used, we went ahead and used our bench boost chip. We had all single game week players and a non-playing goalkeeper. We were banking on the Leeds team to do well against Brighton, but Rafinha also blanked, playing only for 75 minutes, creating just a single chance. It was a frustrating watch, especially having a Leeds triple up for this game week. Che Adams too had a quiet game and only had one goal attempt in the whole game against Leicester City before being substituted in the 71st minute. Clearly the punt over Adams for the last few weeks didn't work out, and it's surely time for him to go. We were also expecting Eric Dyer to provide a clean sheet against Sheffield United, but that wasn't the case. He was decent in defense and made some vital blocks, but should have done better for the Blades' goal. That meant we could only score 6 points from our bench boost. Now that we've used that chip, we can start focusing on building our playing 11 and work towards the yet to be confirmed blank and double game weeks. These are the fixtures for game week 20. Crystal Palace are playing West Ham at home, having won only one of their last 5 games. West Ham, on the other hand, would look to move into the top 6 with a win against them. Newcastle play Leeds United and they badly need a result. They're showing relegation form, having just got 1 point from the possible 15 in the last 5 games. Leeds United would look to bounce back from their poor performance themselves against Brighton last week. Southampton knocked out Arsenal in the FA Cup and would now look to do a quick fire double, playing them at home. Arsenal though would look to continue their good Premier League form, having won 4 of their last 5 games. Then it's West Brom against Man City, who would surely be without Kevin De Bruyne, but have taken the maximum points in their last 5 games. Burnley play the impressive Aston Villa in their fixture and would be flying high after their win against Liverpool. Chelsea come up against Wolves, and the Blues are struggling in 9th position at the moment, with Lampard coming under increasing pressure to deliver results. Wolves themselves have found it hard to cope up without Jimenez and are struggling in 14th place at the moment. Next, Brighton take on Fulham in a very important clash at the bottom end of the table. A win would be huge for either manager, and this should be a good game. Everton host Leicester at the other end of the table, and both managers would be looking for a win to cement their place in the top 4. League leaders Man United face the bottom side Sheffield United and can retain their top spot with the win against the Blades. We end the week with a huge game where a struggling Liverpool side visits Spurs, who would love to leapfrog their opponents in 4th place with a win. Coming to our team selection for game week 20, with KDB injured, we have a couple of drafts in mind. One is without transferring out KDB this week, and the other one is getting KDB out of the team. In the first draft without the KDB transfer, we've gone ahead with no changes to our defense. We have Martinez in goal, who has now kept 9 shutouts in total this season, in which 5 of them have come in the last 8 games. Aston Villa have some decent fixtures going forward, and even if he doesn't keep a clean sheet, there's a huge potential for save points from Martinez. Plus, Aston Villa has played the least amount of games this season, and there'll be a double game week for them against Tottenham and Everton. In terms of our defenders, we are playing 4 at the back. Stones has been brilliant for us this season. We were among the early ones to take a punt on him, and it has clearly paid off. We've also managed to increase our team value because of him. He's still a great budget option from the Man City defense, who looks pretty nailed on at the moment. Having not featured for Man City in their FA Cup game over the weekend, he's surely going to start for the Citizens against West Brom. Now there's a huge argument for doubling up on Man City defenders, and it clearly makes sense, but with KDB surely out, a lot of FPL managers will now focus on transferring him out before making any changes or additions in terms of the City defense. Also, it does not make sense to take a hit for a defender, even if it has greater clean sheet potential, as he'll have to score more than 6 points to give you any kind of advantage over the outgoing player, so we'll hold that move for now. Soufal is another great budget option, cheaper than Cresswell, and provides decent value. He has created 4 chances in the last 5 game weeks, having started a game less than Cresswell. He also has better numbers for expected assists as compared to Aaron Cresswell. West Ham are facing Crystal Palace, who have only scored 3 goals in the last 5 game weeks, so there's a potential for clean sheets along with attacking returns. Dallas is the third defender in this draft, playing against Newcastle, who have managed to get a single point from their last 5 game weeks. Goals have been hard to come by for Newcastle, as they've only managed to score 1 goal during the same time. With the way Leeds generally play, surely they're going to score goals against Newcastle, and Dallas has been effective going forward, scoring 3 goals and providing 2 assists in the first half of the season. We round up the defense with James Justin, who has been a great find for Leicester City this season. He's a versatile player who can play in a number of positions in defense. In his 19 appearances this season, he has produced 45 shot creating chances. Overall, Justin has completed 77% of his passes, which puts him above the likes of Reguilon, Liverpool right-back Trent Alexander-Arnold, and France international and Everton player Luca Dean. His defensive contribution is one of his greatest assets, and he currently leads the entire Premier League with the most tackles at 37. Brendan Rodgers is likely to keep him in the playing 11 in spite of Pereira coming back in the mix. We're playing a 3-man midfield in Rafinha, Salah, and Bruno Fernandes, who's also wearing a captain's armband this week. Rafinha's start the season was encouraging, but he faded away in the past few games. In spite of that, his number for expected goals and assists in the past 5 game weeks are around the 1 mark. His creative stats are decent as he rates in the top 10 midfielders for chances created, and these numbers should definitely improve against Newcastle. Salah has been a major disappointment in the last 5 game weeks, blanking in all of them. He's taken 12 shots in this duration, with only 2 of those being on target. His creative stats are even worse with an expected assist of only 0.57. In spite of these alarming numbers, we are keeping him for a couple of more games, probably till the Brighton game. Next game against Tottenham is not going to be easy, but Klopp would surely look for a response from his Liverpool team after their defeat against Burnley. Liverpool though have a tough run of fixtures, facing Tottenham, Man City and Leicester City in their next 5 games. Our third midfielder is Bruno Fernandes. His returns have come down by a bit, but his attacking stats are still very encouraging. He's still top among all midfielders in terms of goal attempts and big chances created. He's also top for expected goals and assists, and with Man United having a favourable run of fixtures till game week 25, he's surely a must-have premium midfielder right now. In attack, we're going ahead with 3 strikers. We'll start by covering the first 2 that we already have in our team, Harry Kane and Patrick Bamford. Harry Kane has accumulated the maximum FPL points in the last 5 game weeks in spite of not playing the game against Fulham in game week 16. He has scored 3 goals in his last 3 games for Tottenham. He's top for chances created and expected assists among all forwards for the last 5 games. With Liverpool having all sorts of difficulties, it is probably the best time to play them. It totally depends on how Mourinho approaches the game, whether he goes for the win or sits back and tries to hit Liverpool on the counter using Son's pace. It surely provides a great spectacle. Plus, Kane has a couple of double game weeks coming in the near future. Spurs have to play Aston Villa and Fulham, and Harry Kane is surely a long-term hold, especially when we have so much value tied in him. Patrick Bamford has scored a goal and provided 2 assists in his last 5 games. He's 4th in terms of number of shots attempted on goal in the same time. Bamford is a player who combines well with his Leeds teammates, and there's a high potential for assists, making him an attractive pick for this week. Now, our third striker is an interesting choice. We have gone ahead with Mikel Antonio from West Ham. He had a superb double game week and scored 2 winning goals to take West Ham to 7th position in the Premier League. He's a super important player for the Hammers and is a beast on the pitch. Right now, he's looking good value, especially for the next run of fixtures. That includes the likes of Crystal Palace, Fulham and Sheffield United. A slight concern with him is his minutes on the football pitch along with his fitness levels. He's quite injury prone, but in spite of that, he provides a great attacking option in the 6 million price bracket for all the FPL managers. This draft does not include transferring out KDB from our team. Now the risk here would be that KDB's value might fall and we might lose out on team value. As we had already made the Antonio transfer earlier in this week, KDB's transfer would require us to take a hit. Now in case if we do the KDB transfer, we are angling towards getting Jack Grealish in and saving the cash. Aston Villa have great fixtures and Jack Grealish is Villa's most creative player. He has created 18 chances for his Villa teammates, including 4 big chances in the past 5 game weeks. He's also recorded 2 assists in the same time. This transfer then allows us to play 4 in the middle, meaning that we have 3 at the back with the choice of playing either Dallas or Soufal in our playing 11. Both have decent fixtures, but Dallas just edges out Soufal purely because of how bad Newcastle have been over the past few weeks. In terms of our transfers, we've already made a transfer this week, getting an Antonio in place of Che Adams. Adams has not done anything to justify his place in our 11 and faces the axe. Now one more reason we did this transfer early was to tackle any price rise for Antonio, as we had the exact budget to get him in. Now this was before the confirmed news of KDB's injury. As he's now out for a minimum of 4 weeks, we'll have to replace him this week or by next week. We got him for 11.8 million, currently he's 11.9 but would surely drop in price. Nonetheless, that's a lot of value sitting on our bench and he needs to go out. Our interest is towards Jack Grealish at the moment, considering his performances against Man City and Newcastle. The return of Ross Barkley has surely helped him to get more forward than before, and he would be mostly playing on the left side of attack, creating a lot of chances for his Villa mates to finish. Marcus Rashford and Raheem Sterling are 2 other options FPL managers can look at. Rashford has a good attacking potential, taking 11 attempts on goal in the last 5 game weeks. His expected goals are a decent 1.81 from the same time. One slight concern with Rashford is his playing time, especially if Cavani starts as United's number 9. He would be competing for the left side against Martial and his minutes might be reduced. Raheem Sterling is another player who's not fired the way many were expecting this season. His numbers are okay, having scored a goal and providing 2 assists in his last 5 game weeks. He has created 3 big chances and has the 4th highest expected assist, only behind the likes of Fernandes, De Bruyne and Jack Grealish. He's also in the differential category with only 7% ownership right now, which is quite low when it comes to a premium midfielder. With KDB not playing, it'll be a bit tricky for Man City as they'll have to find a different system to play, and that would stop a lot of managers to get Sterling directly in their teams. The Leicester City duo of James Maddison and Harvey Barnes have also come up in a lot of FPL chatter this week, but we're also looking at replacements that we can captain. And Sterling in particular can be a decent differential captain choice. Also, their numbers have improved over the past few weeks, but we would still like to see them for the next couple of matches. It'll be interesting to see how they progress without Jamie Vardy, who's out because of his hernia operation. Maddison might be on penalties, and that might just increase his appeal, but it's a wait and watch situation for us right now. Now coming to captaincy options, there's obviously one standout pick in Bruno Fernandes. He's playing Sheffield United, who have improved in the past few weeks, but have still just kept one clean sheet in the last 5 matches, and Bruno Fernandes would be itching to get on the score sheet, having scored only 1 goal in his last 5 games. Raheem Sterling can also be a great punt with low ownership and even low percentage of people captaining him. If it comes off, you can get a huge positive difference in your overall rank and definitely worth the risk. Man City have been in great form recently and are playing a West Brom side who are still second from bottom and have conceded 14 goals in the last 5 game weeks. They haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 9 games, and Man City attack is good enough to get a big score here. Mikel Antonio is another decent option against a Crystal Palace defense who are in the bottom 5 for expected goals conceded as per the last 5 game weeks. He'll be raring to go after getting a rest in West Ham's FA Cup game against Doncaster. In some alternate options, we've also got Patrick Bamford or Jack Grealish. Both are facing sides in the bottom half of the Premier League. Bamford in particular has a great chance of getting a huge haul against Newcastle, who top in terms of expected goals conceded over the past 5 game weeks. Burnley might be a bit challenging, but Jack Grealish is one of the most creative players in the Premier League at the moment, competing with the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Kevin De Bruyne. Villa look really sharp in their Game Week 19 games and will surely look to continue their impressive performance against a tough Burnley side who would surely sit back in this game and play deep. Giving the armband to Marcus Rashford is a bit risky, but also a great differential move at the same time. There are a few question marks about his playing time, but he has the pace to hurt Sheffield United, and with Bruno Fernandes in great form, he would like to capitalize and add to his 7 goals so far this season. That'll be all for this episode, guys. Lots of matches coming up, and we are really looking forward to some great football. Do hit the like button if you found this video useful. Let us know in the comments below what transfer moves you're making this week. Make sure to subscribe to our channel Insanely Football. Wishing you all the very best for this week. We'll soon be doing another video where we'll be talking about Game Week 20 once it finishes, so do watch out for that. Be safe, and I'll see you Insaners next time.